Hello friends. Last class I have discussed about the membrane proteins, in which I have discussed that it's a functional component of the plasma membranes and it helps in the transport of molecules or solute across the plasma membranes. Those membrane proteins are called as the transport proteins, which helps in the transport of the solutes. So what is transport proteins? Transport proteins are the transmembrane proteins, and it's a membrane proteins, and it helps in the selective transport of solutes or molecules. It can be carrier or channels. Carriers or channels are nothing but the transmembrane proteins acting as a transport proteins. Transport can be active or passive process. Transport can be carrier mediated or channels mediated. If it's a carrier mediated, it's a generally active process. It's a highly specific, and the rate of transport will be slow. Carrier is of two types. One is uniporter and other is co-transporter. Uniporter means allow only single molecules to pass. So as a co-transporter it is allowed two molecules to pass at the same time. So co-transporter can be seam porter or antiporter. If seam porter, then the both molecules will transport in a similar directions. If for antiporter, it will move in the opposite directions. So carriers are generally active and highly specific. When we go to the channel mediated, it's a passive process. It's a less specific but fast transport will be there. Channels can be of two types. One is gated channel and other is non-gated channels. Gated channels means to open or close of these channels you need some signals. Those signals can be either ligand binding or voltage binding. If the signal is voltage, then we can call as that channel as a voltage gated channels. Like that, non-gated channels do not require any specific signals. So now we will discuss about the transport across the plasma membrane. Now, transport across plasma membrane. Across plasma membrane. Movement of solutes or molecules, movement of molecules mainly depends upon two factors. One is the size of molecules. And another factor is the hydrophobicity of those molecules. Hydrophobicity of those molecules. For the size of molecules, its transport will be inversely proportional to the size of the molecules. Means less size of the molecules, rate of transport will be fast. Rate of transport is fast. It's inversely to the rate of transport. Hydrophobicity, more hydrophobic your molecules will be, it can easily cross the hydrophobic barrier of the plasma membrane. So hydrophobicity is directly proportional to rate of transport. Is directly proportional to the rate of transport. Rate of transport. So, rate of movement of molecules depend upon the two factors. One is the size of molecules, which is inversely to the rate of transport. Another is the hydrophobicity of the molecules. From these two concepts, they often ask one questions in which they will give you some molecules and they will tell you to arrange in the increasing or decreasing order of rate of transport of these molecules. So I will discuss one question regarding from this concept. So suppose you have a gas molecules here. Suppose you are having a gas molecule like O2, CO2. Second, you are having a hydrophobic molecules like benzene. Then you are having a small polar molecules, like H2O and ethyl alcohol, C2H5OH. Then you are having a large polar molecules like glucose. Then you are having a charged molecules like ions or ATP. So you are having a plasma membrane here. It's a plasma membrane here. This is a plasma membrane. So they will ask you which one will move fast and which one will be slow. So since it's a gas and the size is very less, so it can easily cross the hydrophobic barriers. So it will move fastest. Then it's a hydrophobic molecule benzene. It can easily cross the hydrophobic barrier of this plasma membrane. This is a hydrophobic barrier. So it can also move faster. Then you are having a polar molecule, but it's a small. So size of the molecules is inversely to the rate of transport. So it can comparatively move faster. Then you are having a large molecules like glucose. It can be either impermeable or permeable, but very, very slow. Its transport will be very, very slow. When you are speaking about the charged molecules like ions, and also about the ATP, these molecules are impermeable. So if I want to arrange in the increasing order of rate of transport, I can say that from right to left, rate of transport increases. Rate of transport increases. So this one will have highest rate of transport, and this one will have lowest. So transport across plasma membrane depends upon the size of the molecules and the hydrophobicity of the molecules. Now we will discuss about the active transport and the passive transport, because in the coming lectures I will be discussing about the active and the passive transport. I will just give the briefing about the active and the passive transport, so that in the next class we can directly start with the diffusions. So transport can be either passive or active. So suppose you are having a plasma membrane or selective permeable membrane, anything. Suppose this is a plasma membrane. This side of the plasma membrane you are having a 5 mole of glucose or anything, benzene. Suppose you are having a 5 mole of benzene. This side you are having a 2 mole of benzene. So concentration of benzene is low in the right hand side, and the concentration of benzene is higher in the left hand side. So these benzene molecules can move from higher to lower concentrations. Higher concentration and this is lower concentration. So movement of benzene from higher to lower concentrations. This is called as a passive transport. Here you don't need to spend any energy. So energy is not required. Most important thing is that in the passive transport, energy is not required. Since it's moving from higher to lower, we can call as a downhill movement. We can call as a downhill movement. Downhill movement. In the case of active transport, the movement will be from the lower to higher concentrations. So suppose you are having 2 molar of benzene here, and here 5 molar of benzene. Here the concentration is low, here the concentration is high. So low concentration and high concentration. Low concentration and high concentrations. So in the case of active transport, the movement will be from lower concentration to the higher concentrations. So movement is from low to high concentrations, means movement against concentrations. Movement against concentration. And this is called as uphill movement. Uphill movement. And for this you need to spend some energy in the form of ATP. So ATP or energy is required. ATP or energy is required. So this is a transport. It can be passive or active. So for the passive, energy is not required and its movement is from higher to lower concentrations. Example will be simple diffusions or diffusions. Simple diffusion or diffusions. Example is then active transport 5 from low to high concentrations and movement against the concentration gradient, uphill movement, and ATP or energy is required. So this is all about the transport proteins. This is just a briefing about the transport proteins. In the coming lectures, I will be discussing the diffusions, in which I will discuss the simple diffusion and the facultative diffusion. Thank you very much for watching this video.